Okay, everyone. Welcome to how to run $1 million blog. For a little bit of history, this used to be called Secrets of Six-Figure Bloggers, but we decided we should go seven-figure now. So, all right. Before we begin, a couple of housekeeping rules. All right. First of all, there is no videotaping of this session. Affiliate Summit is videotaping this, so and all attendees will get a copy of the video after the show's over. So you don't have to worry about that. Feel free to take any pictures you want. Please set your cell phone to silent mode or turn it off. And let's see what else we have here. Take a look. Oh yeah. Now, when you came in here, you were all given this little white form. It's feedback, and Affiliate Summit would like you to fill out this information because it's what they use to decide the session to begin. So basically it's very, very straightforward. You just put in your name, your email address, and then there's a rating. And
you need to put in the session number as well.
Yeah. What's our session number?
Our session is
1B.
1B.
1B. So you put down session 1B. Speakers, there's John Chow, Syed, John, and Zac Johnson. And just circle number 10 for both the top one and the bottom one, and put in your name and email and submit it to the back. That'd be great. And the reason you want to do that, there is an incentive to do this because Affiliate Summit will be doing random drawings of these submissions, and there'll be 5 winners will be chosen, will receive a VIP pass for the Affiliate Summit in New York. So that will save you $1,200 potentially. Right?
Also, if we win, best thing, we get a $5 gift card to Outback Steakhouse. So that's what we're really going
definitely
for.
Want to do that. And so, and you can only win if you circle 10, just so you know. All right. All right. So, yeah. Okay. So I would like to just start off with just having our panel introduce themselves, a little short intro before we get into it.
Hi, I'm Zac Johnson. Been in the industry for a little over 20 years now. Started when I was in high school. Fell into the world of affiliate marketing. Started pushing Amazon with their affiliate program. Figured out how to make more money by actually doing leads and transactions for other companies on the data side. 2007, I decided to launch my own blog at zacjohnson.com to show people basically what I've done to get to where I am today. And that's one of the main focuses behind my brand today. And I also run blogging.org.
All right. Syed Balkhi. I started also when I was in high school and did a lot of stuff. Started my blog called WPBeginner in 2009. It's the largest WordPress resource site today. I also have a very popular entertainment blog called List25, where we have over 450 million video views on YouTube and 2.5 million subscribers. And through my blogging business, I launched several different software products. One of them you might have seen is called Opt-in Monster. When you take your mouse out, show the pop-up. That's me, along with several other WordPress plugins that my company creates.
Hey, you guys, I'm John Rampton. I have a payments company called Do.com, and I write for many different sites out there. I write for Mashable, TechCrunch, Entrepreneur Inc., and a bunch of other companies.
All right, and I'm your moderator, John Chow. I run the blog at johnchow.com. All right, so let's begin. Well, how it's going to work is I will be asking our panel a series of questions that we received from feedback we got from Facebook when we asked about this panel. We asked them to send in their question. I'm going to ask these questions first, and then after that, we're going to turn over to you guys. And if you have a question you wish to ask, there is a microphone right in the center of the stage that you just go back there and ask your question. And the reason we're asking you to go behind the mic is we are recording this, and if you just raise your hand and speak, it won't be picked up. So
also remember, there's no stupid questions. So
no such thing as a stupid question.
If whatever you guys want, ask us.
That's right. And so we can. Let's begin with content. One of the most common questions we have. Oh, by the way, before we get how many people here have a blog? All right, good. And how many people don't have a blog? Just out of interest. All right. So, but you want to start one, right? And hopefully make money from it. Good.
How many people are making money with their blog right now?
Good stuff.
Okay,
and how do you want to make more money with their blogs? Good. All right. All right. So one of the key challenges of blogging is that I get a lot is like content creation. But The other ingredient, it's only half the ingredient because content creation is one thing, but there's also content promotion. Like, you can write the best piece of content in the world, but if nobody reads it, then really what is the point? So I want to ask our panel, what do you think is more important, like content creation or content promotion? Let's start with Zach and work our way.
All right, so right now there's over 1 billion active websites on the internet, and that means there's 1 billion websites creating new content. So right off the bat, that should tell you the last thing we need is more content. What we need is better content. And people are always going to search for stuff in the search results, but Google's only going to list the best stuff on the main page. So when you're coming up with content, you should be trying to do better than what's currently out there in the competition. So let's say you were making a blog on how to do skateboarding tricks, and then you search that on Google, and the first page has articles that are just showing text and maybe a few images. If you create a better resource on that topic and include videos, maybe expert tips from other skateboarders, that's how you should be creating content and not just trying to come out with a ton of content on a daily basis, because it's no longer about pushing as much content out there as you can. It's about creating the best content possible and then continually referencing it and promoting it. So once you create an article, focus a lot more time on the actual promotion of it than just creating it.
I think it's a pretty equal divide for us. Content creation is just as important as content promotion. We push out a video a day on our YouTube channel that's accompanied by a blog post for List 25. And on the blog, we're pushing out 3 articles every day. And on WPBeginner, we push out an article every day, every weekday. So creation is very, very important because we're answering questions that our users are asking us in the form of tutorials. But like promoting it is equally as important. You don't want to just create something and let it sit there to die in your blog's archive pages, because when you go on a blog, you don't say, let me see what Syed wrote in October of 2012, right? So you don't really go back. Promoting wise, I think it's very, very important. For us, we do a lot of interlinking of our own blog posts, and then keep recycling the old posts, sharing them on our Twitter using Buffer. So I use a tool called Bulk Buffer. So we are retweeting our older blog posts automatically. And then also repurposing content. When you're on a blog, you realize, let's say you create 1,000 pieces of content, or 100 blog posts, whatever, only 10 of them get the most traffic, and you want to focus on those 10 and keep promoting them and making them better. So the formula that we use is keep making sure they're always up to date, making sure it's always the best piece in the market, and it's the most comprehensive, because every day you learn something new. Go back, if a user asks a question, go back and update it and make your article more thorough. So we look at our comments and keep on doing that. This helps us in the promotion. So I don't think it's fair to say it's a one versus another. It's a more comprehensive thing in a bigger strategy. And then you can always repurpose the content, your most popular content, aside from just retweeting it, turn those blog posts into videos, turn that same blog post into an ebook, and that's what we do a lot of times, is you have to create content to know what to promote. It's not, you will never know, this is the piece of content I need to create and it's gonna be a big hit. If that was the case, then every article on BuzzFeed will go viral. It doesn't, so it's a trial and error game, but it's equally important. You can't do just one or the other.
And I would just add into that, I think it also depends on where you currently are with your blog. So if you have a massive audience coming, they would like to see new content every day. But if you are starting out and you're just really trying to build a name for yourself and you want something to happen fast, it would be more beneficial for you to really create those long form articles and put a lot of promotion towards that versus trying to come out with the content daily, because you won't have an audience at your site looking for those articles. But if you go the long form way and really focus on the promotion, then that's going to help you start moving against the competition. So definitely both models are important.
Yeah, so I spend about 40% of my time, so an average day, 40% of my time creating content and 60% pushing the content. Now, how I push that is really important, and I'm not sure if we're going to discuss that, but how I push it personally is a lot on social media. I always look at my analytics to see what time of day is the best time that I should be pushing my blog posts. For me, I find typically with my audience is on Tuesday and Friday mornings. Those are some of my best times, but you have to decide what time of the week or day is the best time to push to your audience. So pay a little attention in analytics. Again, 40% of my time is spent putting together the blog post, and then about 60% on the promotion. And again, promoting, I'm doing it on social, I'm doing paid ads sometimes, I'm reaching out to people to go check it out, I'm doing again, some Taboola, Outbrain, Rev Content, a few other different sites out there to push it. Social, and then lots of syndication with partners and working with other partners to republish my content with the appropriate tags.
Excellent. All right. So, speaking of content, you did mention something. Do you feel what's a good level of content to be producing on say a weekly basis? I do get question, I have limited time I can't be writing all the time. So you think more content is better than less content, or is there an ideal posting frequency that you guys like to achieve?
For the most part, I blog when I feel it's necessary, because this kind of goes back to so much content overwhelm already happening. And on my sites, I usually blog maybe once to twice a week. But at the same time, I'm always promoting the content I'm writing on different resources. So if you have a website, when you're trying to come up with different types of content ideas, ultimately, if you're trying to make money, you should be trying to cater to a need that your audience has, providing them with a solution, which is also monetizable to you as well. So this can really apply to anything, but in the end, you want to become the source for that internal goal, which is, so for example, blogging.org, I walk people through the process of how to start a website. So everything I write about is related to that, and it will ultimately direct them to walking through the process to start a website. So no matter what your goal is, you should be going after that same thing, which is your target, and then you can really go wide range on the long tail keywords. So if somebody might be searching for how to get traffic to your blog, they might also end up in that same article, which sends them back to your main site.
For us, we think of blogging as a business. If it's a hobby for you, you can push it whenever you want. But if you think of your blog as a TV show, imagine if your favorite TV show one day comes out at 8 p.m., but another day comes out at noon. We believe in consistency is very, very important, and that's been a key to our success. And we have, eight-figure blogging business to support that. And it depends on the size of your team. It's not feasible for everybody to become like TechCrunch and push 16 different articles a day. On our larger site, like a list 25, we're pushing 2 to 3 articles a day. Actually, 3 articles a day, and there's timing for that. On WPBeginner, we only push on weekdays because it's targeted toward B2B, small business. On our smaller product sites, for Opt-in Monster, for example, content is a big part of our strategy. We only push 2 really long-form articles a week, Mondays and Thursdays, same time. And these are really long-form blog posts, minimum of 2,000 words long. And on our product sites, where we don't have a full-blown content team, we're very heavy dev focused. We push about Mondays and Thursdays. It tends to work out really, really well for us because we do a newsletter on Tuesday. So you do Thursday, Monday, and then that goes in the newsletter to our audience on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'd say Google never sleeps. So the more you can put out that's really good content, the better it will be for you. But again, I think of my business very similar to Syed. Like if I, your favorite TV show out there, if it showed 2 episodes and then didn't come back for Christmas break or the month after, you'd be kind of pissed and you'd probably lose that show. It's the same as blogging. We're very, very consistent on Do. We publish every single day, Monday through Monday, and we publish anywhere from 2 to 8 posts a day. But we also have partners that we work with that require content to be syndicated at their website, so we have to produce daily.
Mm-hmm. Another thing I'd like to add about content from my personal standpoint is a little tip that I learned a while back, and that is it is possible to create new content using your existing content. Mm-hmm. And it's just by changing the medium. For example, I took a series of blog posts I did on how to start a blog. Now, normally you come to my blog, it's for free, you read it for free. But then I took that and turned it into an ebook, basically from the series of blog posts, and now I'm able to exchange that ebook for an email address. So now I'm using that as a lead capture device. Then I took the same content, gave it to my ghostwriter and said, turn this into a 60,000 word book. He took the notes in the ebook, turned it into a book, got it on Amazon, now it's selling for $12 on Amazon. So, but it's basically the same content as those original blog posts. Took the same content from the book, turned it into a video course, is now selling for $297. Take the same kind of video course, turn it into a live seminar, and now it's worth $2,000. Originally the same content. So don't feel that, I got to produce new content all the time. It is, it's leveraging your content is another thing you can do.
Oh, also, I wanted to put one thing. Also, when we produce content, I'm not always me producing the content. I have a team behind me producing the content. So if you're planning on doing something, if you're a business or a blogger, it doesn't always have to be you. It can be other people, and that helps me leverage them to produce the best content and experts out there so that I don't have to produce all of that.
And I want to add to that very important point. You know, when you're just starting out, it's kind of overwhelming that you see, you know, so-and-so influencers pushing out this many pieces of content, and I have to match that. You don't compare your year 1 to somebody else's year 7. You know, keep doing what you're doing, and you know, when they go back, if you're really curious, go back to their blogs archive when they first started and see what they were doing then, and that will help you feel better about yourself.
Okay, well, since we're still on the subject of content, let's talk about creating content. Like, give me some of your content ideas of how you go about creating content.
Yeah, I'll just throw one out there that's a little bit different because I know everyone will have a different answer, but expert roundups are working extremely well right now. And the way that works is you can find one question that you're going to mention on your blog, but then you go out and find a bunch of experts that'll actually provide you all the content for this article. So let's say I wanted to write a blog post on best ways to create links to your website. I could contact everybody on this panel and then another 100 people in the industry and say, I'm doing an expert blog post. I'd like to include you. Would you give me a 50 to 100 word response? So then 50 people reply that to me, and then I have a 5,000 word post, put it on my website, and then all those guys are then going to get notification it went live, and they're going to start promoting it to their internal lists on social media through their own blogs and maybe even their email list. So I was able to create a massive post of values for my audience, associate my brand with all of these experts in the industry, and then get a ton of social promotion in the process. And this can apply to anything, a cooking niche, skateboarding, whatever you think. What's the most common question? Reach out to all the different experts, and then you create something amazing.
Yeah, expert roundups are really good, and it should be part of your strategy, and they work really well. When I was first starting out, and we still do this today, a great source for tutorials and any kind of content ideas is Twitter search. Yeah. Search.twitter.com, and then click on the Advanced tab at the bottom, and it will show you a whole lot of fields. So I can say, I want to answer questions about WordPress, because that's one of our websites. So we type WordPress, and then Twitter has a sentiment thing. So is it positive, negative, or question? So I just check questions, and then it'll only show me tweets that have a question mark in it. So you can see a ton of ideas that way, and it works really, really well. For us, because we're a larger site and we have tons of people using our site search, we see what people type in our search. What are they searching for on our actual WordPress site search? You can do the same thing with your Google Webmaster Tools and see what people are searching to come to you. But it's really neat when you track what people are searching for on your website, because a lot of times they will not see what they're looking for. That's been a good source of new content ideas for us. We do 2 surveys a year to our audience, where we ask them what they would like for us to cover. And we come up with a whole year's worth of ideas. So we just did our content planning for WPBeginner end of December, and we have content ideas done all the way till September now. So we have a blog post scheduled for every day till September, which is quite neat. So if you have an audience, leverage that audience. Hey, if I could answer one question for you, what would it be? And that allows you to build that one-on-one connection as well. There's a really, really cool tool out there. You can look at question and answers platform like Quora, Yahoo Exchange. But my favorite tool that I look at is called BuzzSumo. But BuzzSumo, you can type any keyword and see what's working in your particular industry. So if you're writing about a social media tool, you can say social media tools and see which articles are ranking really well in terms of the total number of shares. So you can see what's working, and then you know this is what your audience is looking for. And BuzzSumo also shows you who's sharing these articles, so you can then try to network with those people and build relationships, so then they start promoting your stuff. And we heavily leverage BuzzSumo, and they have another tool that's coming out. It's in beta right now, that will aggregate all the questions from Quora and a bunch of different sites, so you can search them all in one place versus different places. But that's a gist of a small piece of our content strategy on how we come up with ideas. But there's like 50 or 70 different ways that we look to come up with ideas.
Ours is pretty simple. We basically, I have a weekly phone call with 3 or 4 really, really good friends who produce a lot of content, and each one of us has to have 10 ideas for every person on the call. So, if we have 5 people on the call, that's 60 ideas that I'll have, and we put it in a spreadsheet, and the person talks about it. It's an hour phone call. We have it scheduled every single week. And again, it's like us 4 up here, and then I have to have 10 titles for Syed, 10 for Zac, and 10 for John. And that allows us to sit and banter back and forth on what would be really, really good titles. And it's a great way to, when I'm like, oh, and here's a good title for you, then one other person can chime in and be like, oh, here's how to make that better, and here's how to make it more viral, or here's a really great article that you could reference. And it helps us come up with some of the best titles in the whole world. I find that, probably, when I said 40% of my time is on content, I'd say half of that is specifically on the title. Because titles, if nobody clicks on that title, nobody's going to go to the post and read this amazing article. So spend a lot of time on your titles and optimizing that for your audience.
Yeah, people are shallow, so they book the judge by its cover and your blog post by its title. I like to say that. But I really want to endorse that cohort idea. You want to be in a cohort, just create like a little Slack group. It works really, really well. And then, it's just 4 or 5 of you that consistently need to chat about. You can help promote each other, but also come up with new content ideas. I do the same with a few friends every Thursday, 2 p.m., where we just chat and just go
Make
through
sure
that.
it's open too, so you're not like, so if people shut down an idea, that you're not offended. Like,
Yeah.
We make fun of people on the phone call all the time, like, oh, that is the crappiest title in the whole world. Like, why would you ever submit that to me? Just like have fun with it, because then you get the best things coming out, and people aren't afraid to go out.
Absolutely.
As I guess a different spin on Zac Johnson's idea about doing expert roundup. Back when I used to have my technology sites, I hosted a media party at the penthouse in the Bellagio during the CES, and I would invite all the fellow media to come for a party night. And what I would always have a couple of models there, and I would take a picture with the model of all the tech geeks that are in attendance, and then I would put them up in the blog post, put them on the blog, and then I would send it to them and say, and next thing you know, they're tweeting it to all their friends, saying what a stud they are and everything, and because for most of them, that's the only contact with women. So that works really, really well, and it actually works well in affiliate summit as well, because the same thing that applies to tech also applies to affiliate marketing.
Okay.
All right.
I personally wouldn't go there, but it works for some.
Only if your name is John.
Okay. According to Technorati, almost 95% of all blogs on the internet make absolutely zero, like no money whatsoever. So my question to this $1 million panel is, what are they doing wrong?
Is Technorati still around?
Yeah.
Technorati.
Well, for the most part, when you hear the word blogging, you probably just think of writing content and creating it. And we're talking about blogging to make money. So if you want to blog to make money, obviously you need to treat this like a business. So every person that's coming to your website would potentially be a customer walking into your store. If you have nothing to offer to them and not an end goal for how you're going to make money, how are you going to make money with blogging? So people will start a blog, they'll start writing about maybe cooking and say, oh, I've made this new recipe. And they'll be doing that for like 3 months or whatever, and they're saying, I'm getting no traffic, I'm not getting any sales, I'm not making any money. Well, you're not offering really anything of value, and there's no business model there. And at the same time, this goes back to the content promotion. There's over 1 billion websites out there. Google's only going to rank like 5 to 10 on the main page organically. If you're on that second page, you're not going to be found. So you need to have content creation in place where you're actually providing value, walking them through the process where they can sign up for something or in some way that you're going to get monetization from it, and then you need to promote it. So without those 2 things in place, you're simply just going to be blogging without making money.
Yes, I like to think of it, my blog is a business. A lot of people, when they start, they're like, my blog is my passion. If nobody cares about your passion, then you're not going to make any money. So your blog has to solve a problem. As long as you do that, you have a solution, you're going to make money, whether it is through ads, somebody else is providing a solution to your audience, whether it is for you selling a service that is solving the user's problem, or whether it is you selling a product. Whenever people start, they start with ads, like PPC ads or CPM ads, where they make money, and then they transition into more in affiliate marketing, and then you transition into your own products. And I think that's the scope. But think about, really spend a day or two thinking about what can you sell. If you're starting a blog, what can you sell to your audience? And that should be an exercise that you should do at least once a year, where you say, okay, if I add this product, is it going to add to my bottom line by this much, or is it a needle mover? If it's a needle mover, then you focus on it. And if it's not, then don't. But approach your blog as a business and you'll make money. If you just think, I'm going to write and they will come, and then once I have an audience, I will figure it out what to sell. Chances are you're going to be one of those million blogs that die after 8 months. Most blogs die after 8 months because people don't have the patience and they don't have the right approach. So whenever you're starting something, be prepared that you're not going to make any money the first year. 8 months is like, a breaking point for most people. They're like, oh, I don't think. But if you're smart about it, you're gonna have a good foundation that you can build on. And usually people start seeing a hockey curve style growth when they're doing things right.
Yeah, kind of speaking to that hockey curve. When I started out blogging, this was, I don't even remember when, a long time ago. I started blogging, and I blogged 3 times a day, 3 blog posts a day, which is a lot of work if you guys, blog a lot. I did that for 8 months, and I did not make $1. Yeah, it really sucked. But I mean, same time, I didn't make $1 for that. And then I read Zac Johnson. He puts out a really good book on how to make money. Just go to zacjohnson.com. I have to promote him because he kind of got me into blogging. I read his guide, which basically taught me, and one of the first things in the guide is, set up, do all these things. Okay, got that. I'm past that. One of the things was on the side, put ads and actually put companies in there, because I had ads up and no one was buying the spots. So then I went and put actual companies in there, and I left 1 spot open. And that first month, I had 3 really good companies in there, and then 1 spot open, and somebody bought the spot. And I was like, oh, sweet.
Then you removed the fake company.
Yeah, and then I removed one of the fake companies and put another company, and then that got bought too. And literally my first month, I made 150. My second month, I made 200 or 300. Well, 6 months later, I was making almost a 6-figure income by following some of the tips. So seriously, read that. It's really good. But it doesn't happen in the very beginning. It takes some time. Google takes a long time to rank. It takes a while to put all this together and get fans. I figure when I write a blog post, it's a numbers game for me. That's why I write a lot and I put out a lot of content. Every blog post, 1% of people I say will be my super fans for life. That's only 1 person out of 100. And so that means if I write 100 posts and each one get 100 visitors, that means I'll have 100 super fans that no matter what I write or put in front of them, they'll come back and click on it and purchase what I do. So the more I write, the more fans I'll get, the bigger my audience is, the more money I make.
Excellent. All right. While we're on the subject of money, the majority of bloggers make their money with advertising, the Google ad or selling their own ad space. And while that is effective, I know that you guys do a lot more than just putting advertising as a main revenue source. And let's talk a bit about that and how you guys have leverage your blog with.
All right, so I'll give you 2 examples of this just so you can kind of relate to it. Now, if you want to start a blog and not make money with it, start a sports blog, because who goes to ESPN.com to actually buy something? Nobody. You only want to see highlights, you want to see scores, you want to see news and rumors. So if you're going to start a sports website, guess what? If you do get an audience, they're going to want that same thing. Nobody's going to come to your site because they want to order sports tickets or memorabilia. They just want the scores or highlight. So with that in mind, you got to figure out a way to niche down your audience as much as possible, find out exactly what they want, and then find out the best way to monetize it. If you did have a sports website, most likely the best way to monetize it would be Google AdSense, because they're going to rotate advertisers from previous websites that you've already visited. So you're not going to make a ton of money off that most likely, but at the same time, you're probably going to do better with that than you would be selling sports tickets or memorabilia. So if you wanted to create a sports website, you could niche it down to basketball and then maybe niche it down to jump training for people that want to learn how to dunk. So now you know people are coming to your website because they want to learn how to jump higher. If they want to learn something hard enough, they're going to invest some money in it. What you could do then is join a service, a network like clickbank.com, where they actually have ebooks in place and online courses where you can get 75% commission for referring someone to a jump training program. So now you create an article, these are the best exercises, but if you really want to see videos and have an action plan on how to do this, then I recommend this course. Now people are coming to your website, getting exactly what they want, and you're giving them a solution, and that's how you monetize it.
That's it?
That's it.
All right. So problem solution always works. We almost don't do very many ads on niche sites. So whenever you go in a sub niche, you will always want to promote products because those have high profit margins. On a main media site like a List 25, we are doing a lot of ads, advertising and placements. So a brand comes to us and says, hey, can you place us here? Can you use like an Xbox in your video, or can you use this? And then we get paid for those. But more on a resource site like a WPBeginner, we don't even sell any ads. We don't put any Google AdSense or anything. Instead, we work out deals with different product companies in our space and affiliate deals. So for example, we know every website should have a backup, right? Because that's your last mechanism of defense. So we will go partner with a company like iThemes who create Backup Buddy. And iThemes have an affiliate program. And I'll say, okay, well, I will get 25% commission for every time I sell backups. Everybody needs to have a backup. If your site don't have a backup, get one right now, because you'll thank me 7 years from now when somebody hacks you and they remove your entire database. But that's one of the ways we start making money. And the coolest part about it is that you can promote the products that you like. Most of these companies, if they will give you a review copy for you to test it out. We only promote things that we actually endorse or like we would use ourselves. And then when you ask as your audience grows, you can turn some of those products as your own. So that's how our business model shifted very heavily a few years back. So we used to be 100% affiliate focused. And then we said, okay, we're going to launch our own plugin. And we launched Opt-in Monster, which is the most popular lead generation plugin now. We're doing several billion impressions a month, helping people get more email subscribers because our audience wanted to learn how to build an email list. And we found that pain point, created our own solution as a software, and use our blog, which is our media, to promote our own software. And then seeing the success of that, we replicated that model over and over again. We have a huge set of our audience who wants to learn how to use WordPress to showcase their photography stuff. So then I went out. I was an affiliate of a product called Envira Gallery, and I just bought that plugin. I said, I don't want to be your affiliate. I would like to buy it because we were doing pretty well with our software plugin. And then, same thing we did with the slider, because everybody wants to add a little slider on their website. We said, okay, instead of doing an affiliate deal, we're going to go buy it out. So we started out as an affiliate, and then when we saw the products that were converting well, we went out and did partnership deals, where we ended up taking equity or complete buyouts for these. Same thing, a lot of our users wanted an easy-to-use contact form plugin, and you're like, this market is super saturated, and there's, hundreds of thousands of contact form plugins. We launched one last year in March, and it already has 60,000 people using it. Like I said, we do 2 audience surveys, and one of the things we asked them is, if you could have us build one solution, what would it be? Earlier this year, people said we want an easy-to-use analytics solution, and we're like, man, there's so many analytics solutions. So we went out and bought out Yoast Analytics. It's being used on 1.7 million websites, and we're revamping it. So essentially, your model will evolve. Affiliates is the best place to start, and you guys are at the right spot already. So after this talk, what I recommend you to do is go outside to the meat market, go in there and chat with the different affiliate managers, because they will be able to tell you more about the product, and you'll likely to get like a one-on-one connection promote that thing.
Yeah, my large 6-7 figure income has come from products, not blogging. We blog to promote ourselves. Not necessarily with being like, oh my word, check out our cool product, how awesome is it? But we blog to help others. So we'll talk about the top trends, the top this, and help people and gain a person's trust. Again, that 1% of people, obviously we're going for more than that, but a large percentage of people, we're trying to help them out, and they'll trust our product and come back and purchase it. And that's how we make 100% of our revenue. We have 0 ads. We found a lot more money in products.
I want to emphasize this because a lot of people might take this the wrong way and say, well, you guys are not making money through your blogs, you're selling products. The idea is you can't sell a product if you don't have a blog. So that's one of the revenue model. That's your own media. So you need a blog and diversify your income stream. You know, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. You don't want to be just an affiliate of one product, and then if that product goes out, then you go out of business. You have to evolve your model. So the reason why we're able to make 7-8 figure incomes through our blogs is because we built an audience first. We solved a problem, and then we start solving those problems with our own tools and software, which tends to be more lucrative than just simple ads.
Yeah, and I would just add that every blog should have two types of product that I find a lot of blogs are missing. The one is the recurring continuity product, because it's great to sell a product, that's it. But if you can get someone on a rebill, say example, I guess one of the products I promote is my email list provider, Aweber. Their affiliate commission is 30% of the customer's bill for life. Right? So over the last 10 years, I've referred hundreds of customers to Aweber. And I get 30% of their bill. In the first month, it's $0 because it's a free trial. But the next month is $5.70 because it goes to $19. And as the email list gets bigger, their bill gets bigger, my 30% gets bigger. The biggest account I refer to, Aweber, his list is 400,000 names, and his monthly bill is $3,500. And I get 30% of that every single month. And to this very day, I don't know who that person is. I'd like to find out who he is. I'll buy him lunch or something, but I don't know who he is.
It's me.
Okay.
But definitely, Aweber is a really solid program to promote.
Yeah, so if you can find, when you're walking the show floor this next couple of days, if you could be mindful of company, because there are a lot of companies here will offer you a recurring affiliate commission where they give you a percentage of the customer's bill for life or set time.
I would say make sure you know the service and you're not promoting crap, because if you promote crap, nothing will kill your audience faster.
Yeah.
It's a trust economy. If you promote crap just for quick money, eventually people will lose trust in you. So don't do that. Use the service you recommend. We really use the services that we recommend. And because we have so many different websites, we can try it on a smaller website and then some on the larger websites.
Yeah. Then the only other thing I'd like to add is, I haven't done this for a long time, is basically your audience, if they bought something from you, they already know you, and they like you, they already trust you. So if they bought something that's worth $10 from you, odds are they'll buy something that's worth 100. And if they buy something worth 100, they'll buy something worth 1,000, 10,000, and so forth. So I built my blog to $40,000 a month, selling products that would cost less than $97. Because at that time, I could do that with just a regular sales page. But in the last few years, 60% of my income now comes from products that cost over $2,000. And it didn't cost me any extra additional marketing or advertising or promotion. It just, basically, my audience just wanted more high quality, higher ticket product, but I didn't have that, so they went somewhere else for it. So if you look at your revenue mix, your product mix, actually, do you have a big ticket product there that you can offer that will make you a lot more money? Because really, let's say if you want to make $100,000 a year, and you have a choice of selling with just a $10 ebook or $10 course versus a $10,000 weekend mastermind, one, you only get to sell 10 products. The other one, you get to sell 10,000. Now, yes, it does take more effort to sell a $10,000 mastermind, but it doesn't take 1,000 times more effort. It may take up to 10 times more effort, but yeah, you're getting 1,000 times the result. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And like I said, that has been my biggest revenue contributor in the last few years. Like I said, 60% of my income is now from big ticket product.
Yeah, you really have to know your audience though. For example, our audience at WPBeginner, they're just starting out. They don't have a lot of money to invest in their business. So they're only going to buy smaller ticket items. So really, really understand your audience, understand their problems. If it helps, create customer avatars. We create reader avatars. We give each of our avatar a name, like Small Business Joe and, Nonprofit Cindy. And you give them, really, you stereotype the crap out of that avatar, right? That Joe likes to do this. He likes to play basketball. He reads this, and this is what his challenges are. This is how much money he makes. And we stereotype the crap out of it. So then when we're writing the article, we say this article is written for Joe. And I'm sure Cindy might not appreciate the article all the way, or like, Brett might not appreciate the article all the way, but this today, like Tuesday, it was for Joe. Tomorrow is for Brett, and the day after that is for Cindy. And when we approach things that way, it tends to work out really, really well, because when we write a blog post or send out an email newsletter, that particular reader avatar feels like that we're talking to them. And they're like, yes, that was exactly my problem. And then they end up going and buying it.
All right, so John Rampton says that he spends 40% of his time on creating content and 60% of the time promoting the content. So, and I think we're in agreement here, at least our panel, that promotional content is actually more important than creating the content. Like I said, if you got the best piece of content in the world, but nobody reads it, then what's the point? Right? So I want to ask the panel here to give me the most effective promotion technique of content.
I personally write for my own sites, but I also write for a wide range of other websites, like many of the guys up here. So when I'm not writing content for my own sites, I am writing content for other large industry sites, which then also reference links back to my websites. But at the same time, if I write on my website, I'm reaching my audience. If I write on another site, like say Entrepreneur or Inc. magazine or something, I'm reaching a whole new audience that's now seeing me, which is also potentially going back to my website and becoming a follower for life. So one of the best things you can do is get into the world of guest blogging or providing contributions to other websites. And more often than not, you're not going to get paid for this type of writing, but it's going to grow your brand immensely, because you're going to be in front of an audience of people that are already established, know what they're looking for, and if you have something to offer them of value, they're going to then follow you. And when you look at how much content creation can actually do for you over the course of 2 to 5 years, that one article that you write could end up sending thousands of people to your website, and the opportunities are endless. So don't always just focus your efforts on only creating content for your site and promoting your own content. Write on other websites and platforms. And this is the same exact reason why people go on shows like Fox News or CNBC and do interviews. The audience is there and they're just getting exposure. So you can do that same thing with your own website.
For us, there's several different ways that we use to promote our content. Collaborations is one. It's like it takes one step over the guest posting, because guest posting is one way, collaboration is two ways. So let's say we make a guest post on their website and we promote it, that, hey, check out this article that we wrote on that site, and that site's author will write a guest post on ours, and they will promote to their audience saying, hey, check out my blog post that I wrote on that site. And we do this very, very effectively on List 25, even in our videos. So we'll create a video of 25 fun facts you didn't know featuring so-and-so, kind of like, how rappers make music and say, no-name rapper featuring Snoop Dogg, and then that song becomes a hit, right? So it's kind of the same logic, and that collaboration model works really, really effective for us on List 25. On WPBeginner, we've amassed a huge audience right now that our promotions are very, very organic. We push it out on Twitter, everybody's retweeting it, but we boost our own articles on Facebook. And this is a trick that has helped us improve our Facebook organic reach. I'm sure a lot of you know about Facebook killing your organic reach on pages. So here's what we're doing. We put a retargeting pixel on our website. So every person who visits our website, that becomes our audience. Not all of them go and like us on Facebook. So every time we publish a blog post, we just say $5 boost to everybody who visited our website in the last 30 days, even if they're not liking our Facebook page. So it serves two purposes. One, we get more likes on Facebook. Two, we get more engagement, and that person who left our website, which, by the way, most of the people who leave your website will never come back again. That's a fact, right? That's why retargeting is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So these people then come back, like our Facebook page. Now we got a new fan. Facebook sees our content is engaging, so we improve our organic reach. So we spend about $5 on boosting every post that we have, which is negligible. And this is a very effective strategy on the tutorial side. So collaboration, paid, and then the next thing we do is share for share. So we do deals with people who are in the same industry and have similar size audience. So one thing you have to understand, if you have 3,000 followers and you approach an influencer that has 100,000 followers, you don't have enough value to offer in return. So that will never happen. And you're like, oh, so-and-so influencer is like a butthead, don't want to reply to my email. No, you don't. You just don't. You're not offering enough value. So create a cohort, which is very important. Like my cohort, I started with, they weren't all here. We were all like down here, and we worked together, helped each other grow. So build a cohort, create a Facebook group. When I did it, we were on Skype and AIM. Right, Instant Messenger, and we had a freaking group of people just messaging, hey, can you promote this? Can you promote this for me? So do this, right? Every time your blog post comes out, send it to your group. Now, you don't have to be on AIM because you have Slack, right? That thing is God's gift to promoters. Put it in a Slack channel. All of you are required to retweet each other. If somebody's not doing their job, kick them out of your group. Invite somebody else. Share for share is the most efficient thing. Now, if you want to take it one level further and you want to gain a lot of organic share, there's a service called Quu.co, Q-U-U-U, so 3 U's, .co. And what you can do is you can pay them like $20 or $30 and have your articles be retweeted and reshared by organic people, because Q's business is to help people share more interesting content. A lot of people who want to have active social media profiles, that's what, and they don't have the time to do it, so they just pay Quu $10 and Quu suggests articles, and on the other hand, they're making money by vetting and promoting good content. So that's another way of promoting content that we use for organic promotion.
Yeah, a huge one that we do, the remarketing pixel is great. I highly recommend it. Even if you're not doing it right now, get that remarketing pixel in there and set it to like 180 days. So you can make that and you can retarget those people in the long term, because you can always set up different remarketing things to push to those people. Probably the biggest thing that's helped to leverage us, now Do.com, tell you a little, payments company, very, very crowded space. We're a little over a year old, about a year and a half old, and we've taken our blog to a little over 500,000 readers every single month, which is pretty good in a very crowded space in a matter of a year. But we primarily did that through syndication. Syndication is when you take website content on your site and put it on someone else's site with a tag that tells Google, this originally appeared on this site. So it basically transfers all the credibility of this site onto your site. So for example, we work with NASDAQ, AOL, MSN, Fast Company, Mashable. They take our content from our site and put it on their site, which then takes all the links, all the credibility, all the social shares, everything from their site and transfers it to our site. And we've been able to do that, and literally over the course of 3 months, our site went from 100,000 uniques to over 500,000 uniques just from certain partners. And it's driven a lot, just huge amounts of credibility, links, and customers to us.
Little asterisk, you can't do this unless you're John Rampton.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. There's tons of sites out there. We work with a lot of smaller sites as well. Hundreds of sites that are very, very smaller sites. Even friend sites. Like I syndicate to Zach, to one of his sites, and he was one of the first sites we set up doing that. It's a smaller site. Both of us were very, very small sites, and both of us are grown. Again, kind of the cohorts, like work on your same level and work together, help them out, syndicate with them, they syndicate to you, help each other out, and over time, as you grow, you can get bigger and bigger relationships. John, 10 minutes audience question.
Yeah, awesome. We're coming up to 10 minutes, so I'm going to ask one last question to Syed, and if you have a question, now's the time to get on the mic, and we'll do that last 10 minutes of Q&A. If you have a question, just get on the mic. But in the meantime, Syed, you run one of your company you run is Opt-in Monster, which does pop-up.
Yeah.
But there's something about also as Google pop-ups.
Yeah. So
I want to give you maybe discuss that while you have a
absolutely.
question there.
Yeah. This is one of the questions we've been getting a lot. That Google came out with a rule that if you run a pop-up on your mobile site, they take away the mobile-friendly tag. There's a lot of confusion around it. Number one, mobile-friendly tag is going away for everybody, so it doesn't matter. But the algorithm, Google takes in a lot of ranking factors, and mobile is a small piece. What we're recommending users to do is one of the two things. One, don't show pop-up right away, because that thing is annoying, right? Time it, be smart about it. So only show it after the user have scrolled down, like midway to the page or towards the end of the page, or show it when they're about to leave, or show it on the second page, right? When you go to a bar and you want to ask a girl out, you don't go up to them and say, hey, you want to go on a date with me? You buy her a drink or two, and then you say, hey, you want to go on a date with me? So show the pop-up on the second page. Make your offer a little bit further down to earn the user's trust. So that's what we're recommending people to do. But no questions?
Questions? You have to be at the mic.
Go to the mic so we can get your. So just give us your name, where you're from, and your question.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm from Michigan. I have a product on ClickBank that I'm hoping to attract bloggers to review and promote for me. I'm wondering from a blogger's point of view, what's the best way to contact and entice bloggers to want to do that for a fairly new product?
So what does your product do again?
It's a series of yoga videos for people over the age of 50.
Okay. Are you paying something special to bloggers who are going to promote you?
Well, on ClickBank, there's a commission that
Yeah,
they should be
but
offering.
a lot of times we find whenever we want a specific partner to write about us, usually influencers, we end up giving them a little better commission than what we're offering them.
Okay.
And that tends to get their attention. Like, hey, we're offering this to everybody, but for you, because you're an influencer, we're going to give you a little bit higher, like 5% higher or something like this. And that tends to work out really well. Sending free samples, even if you get nothing in return, is like a hit or miss strategy, but that tends to work with a few. And once you get traction, you say, hey, your competitor wrote about this, do you want to write about it? And then you open the doors that way.
Yeah, I would say a great way to jump into this is to first try and build a relationship with a massive audience. So going with that expert roundup I mentioned, just contact 100, 200 sites, see how many of them get back to you, go live with that article, follow up in a month and say, wow, I really appreciate you taking the time to participate in this. By the way, we have an affiliate program. If you'd like to promote it, we can give you exclusive ad copy, maybe better payout. And then that's where the relationship actually starts, because anyone who can actually push volume, they already have superior agreements and partnerships in place, and they pretty much will just delete any emails they get saying, please promote this.
Yeah, I would take it, for me, even a level lower than that. I like going to Upwork or freelancer.com and hiring someone that can go to a million different sites and search in the thing, and then do what Syed said, is go to them and say, hey, I'm this person pretending they're you. You're having a virtual assistant do this. Go contact the site and be like, hey, I know you're very influential in this. I really have this offer, but I know you're really influential about this, so here's a better offer than I'm offering anybody else. I'd like you to participate.
Yep.
It's a great way to contact a lot of people and expand/multiply you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hi there, Adam Warner with SiteLock. I wonder if you could talk a little bit more about your syndication that you just talked about.
Yeah.
More technically how that works, if you have existing content. Are you asking partners to link back to specific articles or your main domain, and how you set that up technically?
Yeah, so technically I use Yoast SEO plugin, and there's a part of it that is Rail Canonical, RELCANACOL, I believe. It's called Rail Canonical. Most people just Google the term and it will show you how to do it. I approach the site, another site, and I say, I have really great content. Here's specifically 3 or 4 posts that would work for you. Most of the ones I work with now do the work for me or have ways to import. But essentially in the beginning, I'm just copying a title, copying all the stuff, putting this post was originally published here, and then taking the URL and pasting it in the Rail Canonical part of their website, and then publishing. That will tell Google that this post was originally published over here on my site when it's on their site.
Makes sense, thanks.
The idea behind it is you have to add value to that publisher.
Yeah.
So it works really, really well for on publishers where they're making ad revenue. It doesn't matter to them whether this content appears in Google. So like that content never exists in Google. Like for example, if you do it with Mashable and one of his blog posts, that blog post, if you Google Mashable title, it will never show up. It will show up his blog. Mashable's business model is around ad revenue. So the more content they publish, the more eyeballs they get, the more money they make. They don't care about anything else.
They don't care about it ranking in the search engines.
And this is an article they didn't have to pay for.
Or do anything
for, and they value John's relationship. So that's the idea behind it.
If you look at, for example, a company like Business Insider, anybody know Business Insider?
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know exactly how many people they have in their company, but their editorial team is 2 people. Yeah, how many articles do they publish a day? 30, 40,
A lot.
Yeah.
a lot.
All
They have 2
syndicate.
people on that team. It's all other people's content.
Yeah.
And they're just syndicating from a lot of different sites who they have partnerships with. So again, start small and then work your way up to big partnerships. But I find like I spend as much time writing a guest post for a site as, I'll write 10 guest posts. That's the amount of work I take to get a syndication relationship.
Yeah. Usually you start small. 'Cause
Yeah, start small.
Big sites are not going to take
won't
you.
even, they'll just laugh at you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Ade here from adefahun.com. My question is, how do you differentiate blog content from newsletters and email marketing? How do you know what to put on what section?
That's more you, Chow. So the question is how do I differentiate like email content from blog content?
Yeah.
Email content?
Yeah, like how do you
Email
differentiate a blog post versus emailing versus social, like the promotion and stuff like that?
Generally, what I do for my email is I would use my email to promote my latest blog posts. Right? So if I read a blog post, and that's my detailed blog post, I would take an excerpt from my email and I would send to my list, say, hey, new content on johnchow.com. I just wrote this new blog post. Why don't you come check it out? Give me your feedback. That's one way to do it. Now, if you're talking about promoting a specific product, blog post or email, I find that the content I've written for the blog, there's 2 ways. One, I can just, if I want traffic to the blog, I would send the traffic from email to the blog. But sometimes, depending on the product I'm promoting, the same blog post I use on the blog can also be transferable right to the email. But for my audience anyway, I find that I don't have to really change the wording or the content that much between my blog post and my email post. But again, if you know your own audience, that's the judgment call you have to make. Like sometimes, for example, between my YouTube audience and my blog audience, I found they're actually very vastly different. So my content I make on YouTube is different than my content I put on my blog. When I embed my YouTube video on my blog, right, but my blog doesn't show all my YouTube video because there's some videos I put on YouTube that's just not suitable for my blog. So I do have to subscribe for YouTube and blog. So it's something as you develop your list, your audience that you will get a feel for and develop.
Yeah. One of the things that we found, doing daily newsletters, not everybody wanted them. And it dropped the open rate down. And if the open rate goes down and unsubscribe goes up, then your email deliverability goes down. Other people don't see it. So we started giving our users an option. Do you want a daily newsletter or a weekly newsletter? Your super fans want to know everything that you're doing, so they will subscribe for daily. But everybody else will go weekly. Now, daily is very easy. You can automate it from blog post RSS to newsletter. The blog title becomes the email subject line and goes on. But over time, what we realized, our daily list, which used to be majority of our subscribers, is now like this much percentage, and our weekly is this big. Most people don't want to see everything we're publishing. So when we were planning our content, we plan a pillar article every week, which is going to apply for masses, and then we have individual tutorials that go out Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So on Tuesday, we have a pillar article coming out, and that becomes the subject line of our newsletter. Sometimes what we do is we take a piece of that title and then plus another blog post if we had another really interesting one that we thought another larger proportion of people would find valuable. And that's the way we approach our weekly newsletter. And then sometimes things we're doing on YouTube almost never makes it into our newsletter, so that's completely separate. So know your audience.
Okay.
All right, last question.
All right, so you, sir, have the last question.
Last but not least here. Bob Dunn from near Seattle. Question on affiliate links. And this isn't from your experience, and that's something I've tested a lot with. Do you have more success when you're putting affiliate links within a post as text links or inline banner ad graphics?
We find, so the question is if you find more success with banners or inline text links. We find the most success with contextual. Whether it's a contextual banner or contextual text link, doesn't matter. If there's context, you will find more success. If you just place a banner, you can use one of the plugins I created a long time ago. It was free. It inserts an ad after a second paragraph of all of your blog posts. There's no context to that ad. It's not gonna, no matter which affiliate you're gonna promote, it's not gonna work really well. Now, if you're talking about backups and then you mention, this is the product that we use, obviously that's going to carry a much bigger weight as a recommendation, and it's going to convert much better.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, and with that, this concludes our $1 Million Blogging panel. I'd like to thank my fellow panelists for a great answer to the question. I want to thank you guys for attending and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you.
Guys, make sure number 10.
Please fill out the form.
Please fill out the form. Fill it out.